everybody. I got on my Blackberry winter shirt because it's cool, but it's going to get cooler this afternoon. And from that, I got out this thing that to me, I was walking down the street the other day and this lady said, "I love your top." I said, "Lord, lady, it reminds me of a blanket." Lori Rizzuto's with me and I'm excited. This is the day I've been looking forward to. I absolutely love something she does, and I'm like this. I understand and I admire talent. I have very little of it. You knew my daughter Angela very well, and you know that her floral creations were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I could watch her, and all I could do was watch her.
Yeah.
Now, I love the jewelry you make, and I admire everything you do with it, and I could watch you, but I could do nothing about it because I do not have the talent to do this. We want to talk a little bit about, number one, becoming all that you can be after tragedy, because you and I both faced pretty much the same tragedy. Sadly, you know, when he's making knives, you're making jewelry, you're making music together, you're singing side by side on stage. For how many years, Lori?
Singing or together?
Together.
Together. We were married 31 years.
31 years. Mm-hmm. 31 years of a complete, you know, you had your talent, he had his talent, you combined your efforts, you sang, you wrote, you encouraged others by picking that guitar and doing the things y'all do. And a lot of people will remember Mike was on the show when he wrote the song about Angela. She was battling cancer, and you know, everything was great.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment I had to call on him to sing at my daughter's funeral, he said, "I don't know if I can do it." And I said, "But Mike, we've got to. You have to do this. You have to do this." And he said, "I haven't sung it in a long time." I said, "You got to do it." And he did it. And that day, I saw a strength in him because he made it through
mm-hmm.
it, you know. And then some things happened, and he had some injuries, some surgeries, some different things that went wrong in life.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike sadly ended his life. Yeah. And we didn't see this coming. Did you see it coming?
There are moments of like sadness and, you know, a little depression, and especially when you're when you're a man and
yes.
you know you're supposed to work and your
mm-hmm.
body's just not, you know. And he would work through it and
right.
just suffer the pain.
Yeah.
You know, but.
Yeah. Well, this week another friend's husband did the same thing. And I think it's important because this is the National Mental Health Month week time, and we're seeing my granddaughter raising awareness and raising money for the suicide prevention in Alaska as she does this in honor and in memory of her mama. What was it like for your children to be left without their daddy right before the birth of their first grandchild?
I mean, it hit them like like they ran into a brick wall, but they are both so strong.
Yeah.
So strong. And that baby has saved all of our lives.
Absolutely.
And even though something so meaningful was taken away from them, we were given something so beautiful.
Exactly.
At the exact same time.
Exactly. Yeah. And we were talking about this on the way up here. Your daughter's absolutely beautiful. One of them can sing. One of them could probably sing if she wanted to, but they don't pursue music.
One can play, like she plays by ear, you know,
mm-hmm.
but they just choose not to.
And that's a God-given talent
yeah.
because their daddy had that talent, their
yeah.
mama has that talent. But now you have overcome so much, and through this, you're pursuing some more music.
I am.
And you're writing, and you're playing a little bit with a cousin, is that right? Okay, tell me about it.
He's my first cousin, and I hadn't seen him since like I was 2, and we just reconnected last year. And there's so many things that I lost with Michael that he is filling in for because of so many of the same things. Like Michael could take my thoughts and write a song for me to sing. Without me telling him a thing.
Yeah.
And so my cousin Tony can do the same thing, or I can start a song. I can start it on paper, and he can turn it around. And he has written a song called Coco, and it's about my love for Cohen, my grandson, and it's just floored me.
Oh my gosh!
And so just to have somebody to do that with, that was very healing
Oh, yeah. Now, when will we get to hear some of this? He's coming down to
yeah,
Georgia soon?
Yeah, he's about to move to Georgia within the next month or two. And we were already kind of doing things back and forth, you know, online and, you know, ideas and whatever.
And isn't that weird? Because I have even seen where music producers are bringing in different artists to different studios
Yep,
in California, in New York,
together.
and mixing it. Yeah,
Yeah, he's extremely talented. He plays guitar, left-handed and upside down, self-taught, plays drums amazingly, plays keyboard, and then he also knows like the software and the mixing. And so I'm just there to write a little bit and just sing along. And he might teach me a little drums maybe.
That would be awesome. Yeah, that would be awesome. Now, talk about this baby, because his name is Cohen Michael. And does he have any similarities to his granddaddy?
Yes.
Yes.
He's Michael loved to box. He was really good at it. And so, you know how toddlers will go through those stage where they're like hitting and laughing or whatever. So his mom says, hit the bag. She bought him a punching bag, one of those boppy bags. And he's just got that little form going up, and he's built, like everybody assumes he's 3. He's 19 months old, and everybody assumes he's 3. He's so big and stocky.
Yeah.
And he has the faces that they're his mother's faces, but they're also his grandfather's faces. And just, he loves cars, he loves music. When he was 4 months old, I saw him, he could barely sit up, and he was holding his little feet. He was watching a video, and he rocked the entire time to the beat of that song.
Music. Oh, wow.
And so I videoed the whole thing, and then I took a screenshot, and it's on my record player at home. That's my picture.
Oh, wow.
And he loves acoustic. Like if he's a little upset or whatever, I'll play a song for him, and he loves the picking. You know, he loves acoustic, and it's just, and Lily has her dad's Gibson, and it's on a stand, and Cohen just walks up and strums it.
Wow.
And he comes in my house, and he does the same thing with the resonator. Goes straight to the wall and strums the resonator. So he's
gonna get it.
He's gonna get it.
He's gonna get it.
He's already got he feels music, and not everybody feels music,
yeah.
but he already feels music. So he's gonna.
Well, that's what we were talking about that on the way up here. I love gospel music. I love bluegrass music. I love country. I love the 60s music. Couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. And it always made me so mad, because I'm like, everybody I knew could just sing, they could play the piano, and I'm like, is it truly a God-given talent, or can you acquire the talent by working hard? Do you have to have that God-given talent?
I don't believe that I have it, but I love it so much. I pour myself into it.
Yeah.
I did take that was my therapy when Michael died. I knew that if I didn't go take vocal lessons, that I would mentally and physically lose my voice.
Yeah.
So that was my therapy.
Awesome.
And she taught me some things, but mostly it's letting go. It's believing in yourself. It's, you know, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else listening to you is going to.
Right.
So that was the hard part for me, and I'm still working on it.
You're working on it, but you are truly a great success story, because I don't know what your time frame was for healing and recovery, but I did like a 10-day thing, and after 10 days, I knew I had this choice: die of depression or come out of it. Did you have a time frame that you knew I'm going to be okay? Was there a point
From
in
the
time?
beginning? I had to for my girls. I had to.
Yeah. And your daughters are absolutely gorgeous.
They are.
And you,
Best thing we ever did.
Yes.
Best thing we ever did.
Yes,
Both of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to have them there and to have this baby has truly changed your life. But at the same time, you are I would call you a workaholic. You like to do things. You don't sit still. You also, are you still helping the lady design redo homes?
Yes, I have a job I have a job tomorrow and the next day.
Tell me
we have
a little bit
move-in.
about how that works.
Okay. We go into your home. First of all, I am so blessed to be able to work with her. She's been all over the world teaching design. She's been on Oprah. She's been right up in the Atlanta Journal. But she's semi-retired. She lives in Big Canoe. And what her specialty is, what her technique is, we don't go spend all your money. We come into your home and make your furniture and accessories and artwork fit your home. So every time, the most common comment that we get at the end of the day is, it feels so much more spacious but cozy at the same time. It's the feel in the home. It's settled. It's just, and I love it. I've worked for her for about almost 10 years now.
Yeah, I would make you laugh, but we went into a home that was a disaster. And I was with my friend Evelyn, who I call her the master of disaster because she can take anything and turn it into something really cool. And she had said, we really did walk into a disaster. And she said, well, this was on Saturday. And she said, I'll come back on Tuesday and I'll do so-and-so. I said, no. I said, let's do it while we're here. So we moved, we stacked, we stored, we put away, we and we made a drastic difference. And then she had a really good camera and she shot some really good pictures of it and we sent it out to people. And within 4 hours, people were saying, oh, it looks amazing, it looks amazing. And we sold it to the first person who looks at it. And it was so weird because when we got there, it was a dump.
It was
a dump.
We walked into that before
but
too,
it was
just
full of
scared.
Lots of art.
Walk in scared.
Yes, we were like, what have we taken on, you know? And then in 4 hours, it made such a difference. Now, I have to laugh and tell on myself because the downstairs was bad, but the upstairs was horrendous. And Evelyn just jumped in, and she just, you know, and she has that idea of how to finish the product.
Right.
And I just kind of laughed because I told her, I said, oh no, when I got up to the top of those stairs, I was ready to turn around and go away. She said, no. But it is truly, you know, this, sometimes we collect too much stuff. I'm guilty of that. Sometimes we keep too much. Sometimes things mean too much to us. And you can't display it all and you can't put it all. And I have so many cabinets full of china. I have 9 sets of china.
You're not the only one.
Nobody needs
You're
9
not the
sets
only
of
one,
china.
though.
I know, it's crazy. But I use them.
Yeah. If you use them and you love them, then you should have them.
I use them and I love them. And I said it's so weird. Angela had a set that I don't particularly like, but I use it usually on Easter. That's my set because it has purple in it, and you know how she loved purple. And then I have another set that's pink roses, beautiful, beautiful set. And I use an antique quilt with that as my tablecloth. I use a beautiful pink antique quilt. So I use my clutter, but sometimes I just want to put it away. Do you ever walk in people's homes and say, you really need to ditch some of this stuff, or do y'all just hide it?
We have a space designated. If we walk into that situation, they need to know, because she'll go and do a consultation and she'll let them know, like, you need a table or a garage spot or whatever for things that we're not going to be able to use, and we put it there, and then they can decide what to do with it because we've finished our work.
And it's their stuff.
Right,
and they can decide.
They have to decide.
Yeah.
But maybe when they see how happy and calm and comfortable it is, maybe then they will let go of some of it.
Yes. Well, I have like my grandmother's stuff, my great-grandmother's stuff, my great-great-aunt's stuff, all this stuff. You can't get rid of that stuff.
Me too.
And you lived across the street from your grandmother. Do you have your grandmother's stuff?
I do. I have my...
Yeah. How do you tell people, you know, there's nowhere for that stuff?
I don't. I would never. I would never because I know, like my grandmother was my best friend growing up.
Yeah.
And if I have her her washstand and I have my grandfather's parents' pie safe.
Oh yeah.
You know, and those are my 2 favorite things in my house.
Yeah.
So I would never tell anybody.
Now, when y'all do these, she goes and does the consultation, and then you go in and actually physically do the work. Do you ask the person to be out of the home while you're doing this?
It's better. You can get so much more done. Then also the impact is better when they walk in. They're not sitting there wondering, well, why are you doing that? And it's a process. You know those little square puzzles with the little pieces that you move back and forth? It's exactly what we do. You have to move this to move this to move this. And if people are standing there watching you, they're going to get nervous.
Yeah.
But it's just a process.
It's wild. Now, did you get involved with her because you were going to Pickens Tech? Is that what happened?
I did my internship. I graduated the interiors program at Chattahoochee Tech, and I did my internship at Lakota Cove on Cove Road. And she actually worked there. She kept the shop. You know, she kept the store beautiful. And so we just kind of latched onto her. She's like my second mom. Like I just latched onto her, and
And it's worked out wonderfully.
Yeah, my internship, which was supposed to be 3 months, turned into a 2-year job, and then that turned into my job for 10 years with Carol.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, she must see something in you. Now, what about you're artistic to a really great talent with jewelry? Is there any other talent you have I don't know about? Can you paint? Can you do anything like
No,
that?
I am not artistic at all. A customer told me after she saw these, she goes, please stop saying you're not an artist. But that's like, I think of an artist as someone who paints or draws or whatever. I can't draw stick people. I can't even draw a straight line. I can't do anything in a straight line.
Isn't
But
that
this,
wild?
I love this because I play with fire, I hit it with a hammer, a grinder, and it just kind of comes out how it wants to. It just takes on a life of its own.
And I don't know if we can get close-ups, but to me, this is a very delicate form. And I love this. I think that one's absolutely beautiful. But then this one looks rough and tough and rugged, but it's really not because it's a floral. So it's just so, they're so very different and so very unique. And can you said it's hard to duplicate anything.
I can't.
Yeah, but it is
I
what
literally
it is.
torch lead-free solder onto the copper, and while it's wet, while it's liquid, I stamp it so it smushes out how it wants to. Even with making earrings, they're going to be the same pattern, but they're going to take on a little bit of.
Yeah. Well, I love that. I love that. I love that. It's so cool. Now, people are into wearing copper jewelry. Does the copper help
It does.
with arthritis?
I can say that it does because I have arthritis in my hip, and I've had this one on for close to 3 years. And the only time that sometimes I'll be like, oh shoot, I hadn't had my bracelet on for 2 days, and I feel it in my hip.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's actually why I started this. In the infomercials of the copper bracelet that come on late at night, I'm like, well, why do they have to be ugly? You know? Let me just
And
try.
so
Let me
you
just see
said
what I can
no.
do.
Yeah. Well, these are beautiful. And the earrings, to me, I love these. They're so different, so unique, very simple, very ornate. And then this, where's that? Oh, I love
That's
these.
I think it looks like a mermaid
I
to
love
me.
that. I think that is so cool. That is so cool. And these are, you have an Etsy.
I do.
And that's something that, during pandemic, that's been pretty cool for people.
I do, and I buy
to
my
continue
supplies.
to work.
I buy my
Yeah.
supplies from other Etsy vendors. Shop small. Yeah, anything I can get from Etsy, I'll get from Etsy.
You do, yeah. And so you ship these anywhere?
Yeah.
So if you're sitting at home and you're watching us today and you would like to order, I want to show them my favorite earrings, and these are going to go home with me. I love these because I'm kind of the bling girl, and I hadn't seen you do these before, and oh my gosh, I love these. They're so cute. Have a little bit of rhinestones in them, and that is just so cool because you can dress it up, you can dress it down, you can do it with denim, you can do it with black, you can do it however you want it, and I love that. I absolutely love it. And you were telling me when you're doing trade shows or whatever, and you see somebody that you think may have a little, maybe they've gone through something like we've gone through.
Yeah. Sometimes you just feel it sometimes.
You feel it, yeah, and you give them your mustard seed necklace.
They might. I'm close to 700 that I've either sold or given away, and I think that's my own personal little mission. Somebody might be just standing there looking at it, and they might turn around, and I was like, I want you to have this, and they're like, what? And I'm like, no, I want you to have this.
Yeah. Well, recently, she and I both had COVID. She had it, you had it in December, I had it in January. We both had a raging headache, but you're not having the after effects of it now? And I got kind of aggravated yesterday because I've been waiting on a call, and I got this call back. I wanted to have an MRI because after the COVID headache, the headache didn't go away. And at times, it's as bad as when I had COVID. Sometimes it's worse than when I had COVID. So I decided to want an MRI. Have y'all tried to get an MRI lately? You got to jump through this doctor's hoop to get through this doctor's hoop to get through that doctor's front door to get through that other doctor's back door. And I got kind of aggravated. And so I found this saying today because I really wanted to say something nasty, but I didn't. I held my tongue. So this is my saying for today, and this is compliments of my daughter Dawn because she brought me this. Remember to load your brain before you shoot your mouth off. And I had a hard time with that because I'm on the phone with the doctor's office, and they said, well, we see you came in for hypertension. I said, no, I didn't come in for hypertension. My blood pressure is 120/80, always has been. I came in for a COVID headache. Oh, well, it doesn't say anything about that. And so I was cool, calm, and collected. I didn't want to be. You and I have both seen situations that you just want to blow up and blow a gasket. There's no point in it. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to solve the problem. It's not going to help anything. So we just move on.
Right.
Are there days that you want to scream at somebody, want to hit the wall, or are you truly have forgiven? And I think that's very important, because suicide is that death that cannot be explained, it cannot be understood, but there is a forgiving point in there.
Yeah, it's fun that you bring that up, because on Mother's Day, I got this tattoo I've wanted for a year, and I sit on it, think about it. Do you really want a tattoo on your hand? The reason I want it on my hand is because every person that I shake hands with, I want them to see that, because every single person needs to forgive somebody.
Right.
Even if it's themselves.
Right.
And it says number 7, forgive, because I took it from a music video called How to Save a Life. And throughout the video, they flash different ways, like open your mouth, talk to someone, listen, forgive. And on the screen, it just flashes number 7, forgive. So I thought that's a conversation starter. If it just said forgive, people would just think, okay, she's been through something. But if they say, why number 7, forgive, then I can have that conversation, and you never know if someone is one conversation away from suicide.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And we've all said, why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? What else could we have done? Have you asked that question? What else could you have done?
Probably on the surface, but not deep within. I know that was his choice.
Right.
He was not himself.
No,
he was in a very bad place.
Right.
And
depression is the thing that depression will destroy you.
Right.
If you allow it to. And I've seen a lot of depression that I didn't realize was depression. I just thought it was, oh, suck it up, buttercup.
Right.
And that's not the way it is.
Well, that's how we were raised.
Right.
We were raised like, just get over it.
Yeah.
It's not your arm's not broken. Get over it.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that got me through is, for my whole life, my cup is not half full. My cup runneth over. And even going through what I went through, my cup still runneth over. I have 2 beautiful girls. I have the sweetest grandbaby in the world, and I have so many friends. That and I'm gonna live every day my best life, being happy, because my happiness is my choice.
Right.
Nobody can do that for me.
That's right. And that's what I think I had to. Did you feel guilty when you started smiling and laughing and having fun again?
No, but one of my daughters said something similar to that.
I had a really hard time with that.
She said something similar to that.
Yeah, I had a really tough time with that, because I looked at myself and said, how could you be sitting here laughing with your friends? I was actually at a play, and I was laughing. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't do this. But I did, and I realized I can, because we have to.
You have to.
Yeah, we have to.
You have to. That my only therapy after he died was vocal lessons, because we sang. That was our thing together. That was the thing that we were the most connected with. And I knew if I didn't go do that right away, that I would mentally and physically lose my voice for singing. And singing is such a release for me. It pulls all. You can't really sing. And I'm talking about ugly singing, like just in the car with the radio wide open, just hitting the steering wheel. Like that's my release.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
So I knew if I took one step down, I might stumble. So I had to just keep pushing.
Now, we have a video of a song that you and Michael did. We're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, now, is this a song that you wrote, he wrote? Tell me about it.
This is a song, he wrote the most of it. Usually when he wrote a song like that, he could just start moving his pen and have a song lyrics down in 5 minutes and then put it to music. And my only job when it was that type of song was to just maybe change the form of it to make it fit a little better or whatever. But this one's his.
Okay, and what's it called?
Behind the Headlights.
Behind the Headlights. So we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, you're going to get to hear my dear friend, Mike Rizzuko. He has gone on to be with the Lord, but he left behind 2 beautiful daughters, a gorgeous wife, and a precious grandbaby. And he left behind a talent that I hope will live forever, and we're going to see a little bit of that talent now.
Georgia Medical Treatment Center now has 2 locations to bring you the high-quality holistic care you've come to know and expect. We treat neck, back, and joint pain with chiropractic care and injection-based treatment without the need for surgery or prescription painkillers. Our medical weight loss program can also provide relief while ridding your body of toxins, pounds, and inches while improving your overall health. Call today for a free consultation, 770-345-2000, or go online to georgiamtc.com. Whether it's memories of your first trip to the local Dairy Queen or your daily visit for a $5 lunch special, the Jasper Dairy Queen has been a part of the community for over 40 years. Locally owned and operated, Jasper DQ is the place where specialty items often become favorites. Burgers, shakes, chicken tenders with yummy dip and gravy, and don't forget the rings and fries. Celebration cakes are always fresh and fast and include the awesome Blizzard cake. Stop by where folks are always meeting and eating, 515 at Highway 53. Just follow the crowd to the Dairy Queen.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
High-speed Wi-Fi. Not quite as important as running water in your home, but close. Ignite Internet from ETC powers your Wi-Fi network with consistent speeds to keep all your gadgets going strong. Streaming video players, laptops, tablets, even smartphones, so you're never stuck with those big cell data charges. And talk about value. Just pick your speed and keep the Wi-Fi flowing in your home at a great low price. Upgrade your internet today. Call or visit etcnow.com to learn more.
Okay, guys, we're going to take you now to some music by Mike and Lori Rizzuko. This was a song that Mike wrote, Lori tweaked, and they performed, and it is on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Is that where it comes from? So sit back now, and you're going to get to hear the song. The name of it is?
Behind Headlights.
Behind Headlights. Behind Headlights. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go.
Places that
back. Okay. Lori, writing. Mike wrote from the heart, and I don't know why it came to him so perfectly, because when he writes, it just flows, and I don't understand that. You know, you see people who try to write a poem for an English class, and it takes them forever to get it right. Mm-hmm. And then he could just sit down and write. Mm-hmm. When he wrote The Smile of an Angel, did he have to work at that, or did it just come? Do you remember?
I do remember most of it just flowed right out of him, and then I did that little thing where I'd tweak it and make it fit in the form and, you know, the flow, whatever.
Yeah.
But I have notebooks full, stacks of notebooks full of lyrics. And then the music would come to him the same way.
Yeah. And he was self-taught on guitar with no lessons, couldn't read music. And his injury that messed up the hand that he played with had to have been an emotional horror for him.
The doctor said it was the second worst. He was a hand surgeon. He said it's the second worst that he had ever seen, that his wrist was totally crushed. But then guitar playing and chording was his therapy. That was his physical therapy.
Yeah.
So he didn't quit.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome. Well, I know the day that Angela called and said, Mom, can we bring Mike Rizzuto on the show? And I said, okay, what for? She said, he wrote this amazing song. And I said, okay, what's it about? And she said, my smile. And I said, seriously? And she said, yeah, because going through cancer, being young, being angry because you don't want cancer, and she kept smiling, and she kept smiling.
Her smile was infectious.
Yeah. And so he chose to write a song, and it speaks of her smile. And her blue eyes and her smile are the two things that people never forgot. And so now we're going to share the smile of a beautiful young lady. My granddaughter has the same blue eyes. She has that same smile, but as much as I love Tori, she doesn't radiate it like her mother does yet. Maybe it's not her time yet, but Angela never met a stranger. Okay. And our viewers would call and say, we love Friday when Angela's there because she's really just wild and crazy and so much fun. Inside that wild and craziness was a very depressed young woman. Did you know that Mike was getting very depressed because of his hand injury? You saw that happening. Yeah.
I mean, and he had depression throughout the years, but most people with depression are really good at masking it.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael was funny. I mean, quick humor, funny. And that's what most people knew him for.
And didn't understand that deep inside.
Yeah, I mean, Robin Williams.
Exactly, perfect example. Yeah. You know, when I think about some of the stuff Angela did, I'm like, do you know the story about her riding the lawnmower to school to take Tori? You know, I go through that area all the time now, and it is so congested, it is so crazy, traffic is so wild. If that were today, there would have been 2 fatalities on a lawnmower. Angela can't get the car out, so she jumps Tori on the back of the lawnmower and rides her to school.
Yep.
And I'm like, who would have done that? And all the way, Tori was just sitting back there and had her little Beauty and the Beast backpack, and I think they had to turn around and go back home because she forgot her backpack. So, I mean, it was crazy. Angela had no limits to, oh, this will be fun, this will be an adventure, you know. It was an adventure. Right. And so she saw life as like you did, full of everything good, and really and truly it was spiraling out of control inside her mind. And suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary situation. Depression is often long-term, and people deal with it a long, long time. Did Mike ever try to get help? Did he reach out to people, or did he just keep getting in deeper and deeper?
Deeper and deeper.
That was Angela. She just, oh, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And, you know, and I kept saying, yeah, she's going to be great. She's going to be fine. And other people were like, no, she's not going to be fine. And this was her 3rd suicide attempt. Yeah. And it was very strange because I sat at her bed the second attempt, and I actually, in the emergency room, nobody was there but me and her. She was completely unconscious, and I took a picture just in case they came in and said we can't save her, that I could give to her daughter. And I never forgot that moment. It was on my BlackBerry phone, and my BlackBerry phone crashed, and I think it was God's way of protecting me, because I didn't want to see the person laying on that stretcher.
Because that wasn't her.
Yeah, it wasn't her. And she didn't want to die, but she didn't want to live. And I think that's the hardest thing, is you have so much going for you, but you have so much going against you, because Satan is real. I don't know if you realize this.
Oh, yeah.
Satan jumps in there on the weakest point, and when Satan gets there on the weakest point, we have no choice but to turn to God. And I think that's what Angela didn't think that she could.
Right.
And I want to read, this is this is today a verse for May the 12th. Open your mouth and taste, open your eyes and see how good God is. Blessed are you who run to him. Worship God if you want the best. Worship open doors to all his goodness. And I don't think Angela thought she deserved goodness. I think she had hit a level in her life that she didn't really realize that, you know, she deserved to come out of this.
Right.
And that is, it's very hard. It's very hard when you see, and you think, could I have done something? Could I have gotten her help? Could I have done it? We actually took her to a psychologist, and by the time she got through the psychologist was ready to get a psychologist. Because Angela had her all, she was like, this girl is messed up. I said, she is. She is very, very depressed. And depression is real. You know, as bad as I want to say, suck it up, buttercup, it doesn't work that way. Some people just cannot come out of it. And I'm really weird about medication. And lately they have given me a new drug that my thyroid was completely inactive. So they gave me a new drug. Well, it makes me feel very down. And you know what I did with that drug, don't you?
Flushed it.
I ain't taking it. I said, I'm done.
Yep.
Because it made me feel very down.
Yep.
I don't want to feel down because I know what down leads to.
Right.
And I don't need that.
Right.
So I thought, isn't it weird that a world of doctors, physicians, helpers give you something that makes you feel so depressed?
Right.
So that was scary to me.
Yeah.
I only took it a few days, and I
Yeah.
was like, I told Vicki, I said, I just don't even feel like me anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, no, don't want to do this.
And that was Michael's issue, is he'd really crushed his hand severely and was put on hydrocodone. And I say this to anybody, I understand some people have to take it, but I'll say this to anybody, it robs you of your soul.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Just makes you blank.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we see that every single day, and we see parents who are standing over their kid's casket because of the same exact thing. And it's not worth it.
Right.
It's not worth it. So we have to come through this, and we have to reach out and ask for help. And I think that's one of the hardest things. And men, it's
yeah.
worse, because that man is the caretaker of his family. He's the strong one.
Right.
He's everything. Now, when you were doing this beautiful jewelry, Michael was making beautiful knives. And he was so crafty. And he could take nothing and turn it into a gorgeous knife.
Right.
Was that also his therapy?
I think so. He was a welder by trade, but he actually forged, and he was out there just like slinging that hammer on that anvil, and just making something beautiful, and or something that means something to somebody. Somebody would want something for an anniversary or a Father's Day or whatever, and for him to be in charge of doing something to make somebody else feel happy, I think that did help him a lot.
That was important to him. Yeah, it was very important to him. Well, we're going to share now. I think this was Mike at this studio, if I remember right. I'm not sure, but I think it was when he was here. So this is a song that they co-wrote, and Mike produced, did it here on the show. Angela was so encouraged that somebody thought that much of her. And one of the things that every time somebody sees me, they say, we miss your daughter's smile. We miss your daughter's smile. I miss my daughter's smile too. And I will tell you, if you see somebody who's slipping away and you're missing that smile on their face, do a little research and find out what is happening with them. Because if they change the way they're acting, if they change the way they're responding, if they get depressed and sad and down, something is going on.
Right.
And you've got to reach down there and you've got to help them. So here we go, Mike Rizzuto, and it's a beautiful song.
2, 3, 4. Turning back the hands of time when I first saw you, seeing beauty in your eyes and a smile that held a pleasant truth. A friend of friends through the worst of times, leaving your smile etched in all your friends' minds. And I see a warm smile in my memories. And I believe it was smiles like those that helped me. Over time, the memories, some began to fade, but never of a smiling friends that you made. There's so much comfort given in your smile. It eases all your troubles if only for a while. And I see your smile in my memories. And I believe it was your smile that helped me. When life gets hard and you need relief, if only for a while, there's nothing like a friend who has that smile. It can lift you up so high and take you away. There's so much in a smile that words can never say. I see Angela smile at me. I believe Angela smile helps me. And I see Angela smile at me. And I believe it's an angel smiling.
Okay, we're back. Beautiful, beautiful song. Mike and Lori collaborated for over 30 years to deliver beautiful music from A Heart of Gold, and sadly, he chose to end his life. Probably, if he were here today, would say, gosh, I wish I hadn't done that.
Right.
I wish I hadn't done that. I have no doubt in my mind that my daughter given another moment, would not have done it. But she lost her home. It went into foreclosure. She was scammed by a mortgage fraud specialist who cost her her home. And the night she got the news that she was losing her home, she ended her life. And for whatever reason, people choose suicide. It's very, very tough. It's very hard to get over. It's a death that people don't like to discuss. But I think it's very, very important that we discuss it because we've lived through it.
Right.
And from that, your daughters will probably be very, very strong women.
They're so strong.
Very strong women. And I hope that Tori will be as strong. Tori is into helping other people. And she realizes that her mother battled depression most of her life. But because through that smile, we didn't really see that depression. Right. We missed it.
Right.
So I think it's important that you get counseling, that you seek help. If you do nothing except get involved in a great God-based church and have a church family around you to surround you and to love you and to nurture you, somebody will bring you out of that depression. And if you believe in God and you turn it over to Him, you're going to see results. And I think that was hard for Angela because at that point in time, she didn't think she was worthy. Right. She said, I blew it, I messed up. She didn't do anything to mess up. Right. It was a life's choice. And I guarantee if Mike was sitting here today and Angela were sitting here, they would say, we didn't mean to do that. We didn't really want to end our life. And
then both of them would crack some kind of joke.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then the fact that you were left alone to deal with being that strong person as this grandbaby grows up, to keep his grandfather's memory alive. You've got the music to do it. You have, I hope that child gets some of his talent because he was amazingly talented.
I know he has it.
That's awesome.
I know he has
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, when we talk about your jewelry and we talk about what else you do, the interior design and the fun things you do, is there anything else you do that's just pure fun? What else do you
just
do?
love to just get in the car and go. Sometimes I'll just be out in my yard and I'll just like go back in the house and get my keys and just drive. Like I love concerts, love live music. Yeah. Just living. If I want to see the beauty in everything.
Yeah, that's so important. Yeah.
I just want to live.
Yeah. When you look in your daughter's eyes, do you see? Is there anything about them that they're sad, or are they okay? Are they good? Because I worry about Tori sometimes. There are times that I think, is she still angry with her mother?
Yeah.
Because I would be angry.
Yeah.
And I worry about Tori with that.
Well, since you said angry, like people will ask me that, and I'm like, I'm still not mad at him. Yeah. He was mad enough at himself. I'm not going to go there, but yeah, it is a thing that I don't know if. I know one of them has talked about being mad, being mad about what he's missing. They both have great men in their lives, and mad that they don't get to meet him. And but for the most part, they're very strong and they can pull their way through it. And they know they can call me at 2 o'clock in the morning if they're having a bad day, and one of them is very, like, she's, like you're talking about Tori, like she turns it into helping others. She has a Facebook page that's a women's Bible study. She helps with the elderly. She just loves to share her faith.
And just like you, they're turning a negative into a positive. And that's so very important. It's so very important. Right. When I first started talking to people about abuse and about letting yourself live in a situation that is really criminal to yourself, people were like, I can't believe you put up with that. And I said, I can't believe I put up with it. I can't believe I put up with a lot I've done. But Angela was the same way. And then she would just put on that smile and try to make sure, even though deep down inside she was crying and she was desperate for help, she didn't ask for help. And so I think it's our point in life to be that helper.
That's the one thing, and I didn't realize I was saying it as much. I didn't realize it was a thing. And then one of my daughters commented, my mom says, open your mouth. And that's how I say it, because that's all you got to do. Just open your mouth. You know, and even if you're, I'm not having a good day. I don't feel good. I'm tired. But talk to somebody, and if somebody does say to you either any of those three things, just hang out with them. You know, just bring them
Go eat
coffee in the
pizza and
morning.
laugh.
Right.
Yeah,
Go listen to some music. Whatever. But if you're that person that's struggling, just open your mouth, because it does get better.
Let somebody know.
It gets.
That's
We
right.
both know it does
Oh
get
yeah,
better.
it gets better. Well, we want to tell you how to get in touch with her. Now, how do people reach you? Tell me the quickest, easiest way.
It's 218 Jewelry on Facebook, Instagram, or Etsy.
And 218 is a Bible verse.
It is. It's my favorite Bible verse. It's James 2:18. It's I'm horrible, even though that's my verse. I'm horrible at quoting. So it's basically faith without deeds is dead.
There you
So
go.
I'll
There
put
you
the
go.
work in.
There you go.
He's got me. I'll put the work in.
Yep.
He's got me.
He's got it. And if you want to pick up gifts, if you want to have bridesmaids gifts, I think it's a great time of year to think about that. Or if you just got married and you're a freshly new couple, do matching bracelets.
Right,
you know.
right. Or babies' names, or you know, kids' names. You can stack the skinny ones with your kids' names, or just whatever phrase means something to you. If you see it on your arm every day, it'll kind of get you through.
And so when I see you and you have a hammer in your hand, you're really just releasing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like I had friends come over to help me one day for a big festival, and I was like, "This is why I'm so calm. I torch it, I hammer it, I grind it.
Yeah.
I do all that to make pretty things."
That works. Well, it's absolutely beautiful, and I love it. And everybody that I've shown this to is just so in love with it. So, really, really cool stuff. And one of the things we didn't show because we've sold almost all of them, but you do some really cool necklaces, and I think these are so cute.
Thank you.
And it's just very simple. And it's so easy and just simple, and everybody's wearing the jumpers or the long tops, and you just that is really, really cool stuff. So good job, young lady.
Thank
good
you.
job. And I hope everybody will get out and meet Lori. Are you going to be? You go to Rocco's sometimes and sing. Does anybody?
We do
Yeah.
karaoke now,
Yeah,
and I
so
hope
if
to get
people
back to
haven't been,
Yeah.
yeah. What night do
it's
they
Thursday.
do it? Thursday
Yeah,
night. Okay.
It's fun.
It is fun. And it's about sharing that talent and sharing your inspiration. You are an inspiration to many because there are other women who will be going through the same thing you did. And sadly, we have to find the strength to get through it.
And you know, that's just another form of opening your mouth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So be wise. If something has happened to you and you think I can't get through it, know that you can go to Him and you can get through anything. And I think that's the point of today's program is there's somebody out there who is fresh and new into what we are. I'm 8 years into it. Mike,
A little over 2.
2 years. Okay, you know, you're still fresh into it, but I can tell you that point when I didn't cry anymore worried me because I thought, do I not care anymore? And I think, no, it's the healing has happened.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a big, big difference. So for people who are struggling, if you are depressed, please pick up the phone and call somebody, get some help. There are suicide hotlines. There are pastors that would love to talk to you. Find somebody in your church family that will just take you to lunch and just sit down and say, look, I'm having a really, really bad day, but I know through Christ I can get through any and everything I'm facing. And it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Another thing I like to say is God's got this.
God's got this. You got that right. Speaking of, next time you come, will you bring a picture of Cohen?
Sure.
Can't wait to see
Sure.
him. I know he's a little bit cutesy and rotten too, and
Yeah.
that's what
He's our
we
boy.
do with him. That's what nannies do. And I have to tell you, yesterday we didn't do any kind of cooking thing with Riker because Riker just wasn't in a cooking mood. He was kind of in a boy out in the yard playing in the dirt, that kind of mood, and I just look at him and I think, what a great gift from God. What a great gift from God. And I said, you know, one of the things that I was able to do when Angela passed was I was able to donate her beautiful blue eyes. And that, to me, when I look at other children that have beautiful blue eyes, and I just think, you know, all of her life, her beautiful blue eyes encouraged and inspired and made people smile. And they would always say, oh my gosh, she has the most beautiful blue eyes. And somebody today has those eyes. So I'm a donor. I don't know if you're a donor, but I think it's very important to be a donor because heaven doesn't need our organs. They're needed here on earth. And we have several friends. Tracy Buckingham is one who has just gone through a kidney transplant, and please keep praying for her. They actually found a donor who matched her. And that was amazing because she was down to the wire with having all this, having to do her dialysis, and it was just really tough. So if you're thinking about the end of your life, on my driver's license it says very clearly I'm a donor, and I think it's very important that we do that because if it's a sudden death, if it's, you know, like my husband wanted to donate everything to help the son who also had health issues, but because my husband's body was riddled with cancer, they couldn't take anything.
Right.
And that's sad. But you know, if you know that there's a situation that somebody can be helped, please be a donor. I think it's one of the most important things we can do. Continue to give life. So, and continue to love life.
Right.
Don't you think it's important to love life? Yay!
I'm loving it.
Yay, yay. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, guys, hang out tomorrow. I think we're going to do something about the animal rescue. If you still have feral cats, the Gilmer County Animal Shelter is still capturing them. Pick up the phone and call Daniel at the shelter. They are still capturing. They are having a great success with this, and we would love for you to be a part of it. So please pick up the phone and call Daniel. They are capturing kitties like crazy. See you again soon, only on ETC.